Hello people and welcome to Pinball Storytellers, our weekly storytelling show. I'm your host Chucky and this is my co-host Justin aka Cavalier Guest. How's it going?
Going pretty good. Going pretty good.
Oh, besides the whole fridge conundrum.
Beside the fridge thing, everything in my life is fine.
Good,
Other than the fact
that is good to hear. But tell us more about the fridge. What's up with this fridge?
So, those of you who don't know, my fridge broke a couple weeks ago. I only bought it 9 months ago, but apparently, I bought it from Sears outlet, and it had already been returned once and deemed unrepairable by the manufacturer. But the Sears outlet stores, as I've come to discover, are not owned by Sears. They actually have individual owners that are just under the Sears label. So Sears is basically lending their name, despite the fact that
That's
they don't
what
have
a
any control.
franchise means.
Yeah, except for Sears in itself is a company that's not franchised.
Yeah.
They have a whole series of stores, but Sears Outlet is apparently different. So I have to go talk to directly to the manager of the store I bought it from to see what he's willing to do. But the one of the things that on their website, Sears Outlet says that any cosmetic defects are fixed and any mechanical defects are restored according to the manufacturer's guidelines. But if a manufacturer deems something unrepairable, that cannot be restored to the manufacturer's guidelines. Those two things don't work together.
So basically, they sold you a broken fridge, and
Yeah,
by their own rules, they can't repair it.
Correct. So that's fraud. So I'm gonna talk to the manager and see what he's willing to do. And I am guessing they're probably not going to be very cooperative. I don't know for sure yet. I have to actually go down there and talk to them in person.
Wow.
But
There's
like,
a story.
I could take it to small claims court and I would win, but I'm hoping I don't have to go that far.
Yeah, that doesn't really sound like a good story. I hope it works out for the best, put it like that.
Yeah, so that's not the story we're doing today though on Pinball Storytellers.
Yeah, we got a pretty surprise for you guys. Past 2 weeks we've done some guests, and we wanted to do a So as you know, sorry, my my throat is clogged with these. I've eaten way too much of them. I have like a big 2 kilogram pack like this. It's like it's mixed trail, but it's, if you can see it.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's all of them, and my throat was basically just dusty from them. Anyway, for the past 3 weeks we've done guests, and we wanted to do just an original series, to say it like that, as in the first episodes. And we've prepared quite a nice story for the session. Do you wanna to chat?
Okay, so the format we're doing, if you look at the thing, is DMing a story. So Chucky's has not read the story.
I have no idea what's happening.
He's
actually
familiar with it because it's a common story, but he's actually never read the original. So Chucky will actually be playing 2 roles, although he doesn't know where the transition point is. And your first role is you are a merchant, and I'm going to say you can choose what you want to be a merchant of, except you cannot be a merchant of linens or jewelry.
I'm gonna be a merchant of spices.
It's a good pick.
Okay.
All right. So your wife is dead. You're a widow. Or
Widower.
widower. There we go. Thank you. But you have 3 beautiful daughters.
Okay.
And
I don't think that's a plus. Handling 3 beautiful daughters, especially the word beautiful.
It
And
actually is a downside, I guess, because this is the age of dowries, so you're gonna be strapped for cash.
either that,
save up
or
a
I'm
bit.
just. I mean, are they? How beautiful are they?
Well, here, let's do this.
What's with hardness? I don't know how beautiful my daughters are, because if they're beautiful enough, I'll just make money by marrying them off.
Okay, the oldest one's really hideous.
Okay, so she's the woman of the house.
Yeah. The other one's kind of average too, and then the third one
Come on, make it stereotypical. This one is the most beautiful of them all.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how I could roll 3d6 with advantage.
4061.
It's just 66 drop 3, right?
Yeah. That's a very high chance.
Oh my god. She's just a little... She's the prettiest one. They got progressively prettier as time went on, but she's still kind of...
So we were still trying to get to the final form of a perfect, beautiful daughter.
Actually, no, I never did this. Let's... Right, so normally in real life, people rank hotness like 1 to 10. They're like, he's a 5, she's a 7. What is... Like, how close is an 11 to a 10?
What do you mean?
She's a 6.
About, yeah. I mean, if you have it on a 3d6, it's about a 6, which is...
So if you're doing it 1 to 10, she's a 6. Your other daughter's like a 4, and the one in the middle is like a little bit above a 5. Because 9 would be exactly a 5, right?
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right, yeah.
So, your daughters are not that attractive, but maybe you think they're attractive because you're their father.
Well, tell me about the setting. What's kind of happening around? What am I a big city? Am I a small?
So since you decided to be a spice merchant, I'm gonna say that you're kind of a middleman. You're near the end of the Great Spice Road, so you have deliveries that are made to you, and then you take them to larger fairs deeper inland.
Okay. Some of the traveling merchant.
You're a traveling merchant, very much so. And you're actually you just got a huge spice delivery in time for the let's say the Leipzig winter fair or spring fair.
Is that an inspiration from the name Leipzig?
No, it's an actual thing. There used to actually be a large fair at Leipzig every spring, just after the roads opened up in winter for trading.
Okay, good. So I would say
it was one of the largest fairs in that section of Europe, and it basically all the gold that came over from the New World from Spain went through Leipzig into Asia, and spices came the other way.
Yet I would say this, if that's okay with you, I think I would take my daughters with me.
Okay.
So why? Because I want to marry them off. Especially the oldest one is going to be the hardest one. Where can you marry off a daughter easiest? Where people are drunk. Where are people usually drunk? Fairs. This is like this. I sat up thinking all night about this, and the basic maybe even in the same room with them, because usually in those times, unless you were very rich, you just had a one room house. The concept of different rooms was not really a thing unless you were in a castle.
Okay. So you go to your daughters and tell them. We should give them.
You want names?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay, tell me.
So you go to your daughters and tell them that
they are joining me to the fair.
And the oldest one, who's a little ugly, is like, "No, I don't want them to see me."
Well, you know what?
Father, how could you do this to me? You promised.
You will need to go out in the world, young one. And if you don't go out, no man will see you. If no man will see you, you'll stay in this house forever. And I don't want you here forever. You need to have a life. You're coming with me, and you are having a good time. That's an order.
You're a horrible father. And she runs off to her room, crying.
To her bed.
Yeah.
Already established there's only one room.
You're a spice merchant. You could afford more than one room.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Spices are expensive.
Yeah. Why not? And
You're talking about an era where pepper was worth more than its weight in gold.
I'll talk to the other two daughters, and you two make your bags and help your sister.
So the average looking one is like, "Yay, a fair! I've never been to a fair." And the youngest one is like, "Whatever you say, father."
Okay.
So we have recalcitrant, reluctant, and obedient.
Well, maybe I think in my mind, maybe I can finally get rid of them. Getting a
Jeez.
mistress in the house with them three here is very hard.
God.
I'm a spice merchant.
Chucky, worst fairy tale father ever.
I'm a spice merchant, okay? I have money. I go to fairs. I have $3, so I'm thinking that I'm pretty viral in that account.
You actually might not think that. In olden times, when you gave birth to nothing but girls, it was blamed on the man not being virile enough.
Okay, then I want to prove myself.
Okay.
I'm still in my mind. It's her fault. It's her fault. She died because she was cursed by God.
Oh my God.
Oh, your face is like, oh, the derailment.
You're an evil spice merchant.
Not evil, neutral. I would say neutral. I would say like I'm out for my own.
You just badmouthed your dead wife.
I kind of didn't really badmouth her. I bad thinked her. That it doesn't matter. Technicalities. So what's up?
So you go off with the. That's actually good.
Hmm.
So you go off with your wife to the fair at Leipzig, and you guys manage to get there safely. There's no like bandit attacks or bad weather, anything like that.
Okay.
So you manage to get to the fair safely with all your goods intact.
Okay, my daughters and I say, well, let's set up our stand, and I want all of you to put on a real good smile to the customers.
Okay, the older one's still like sniffling and red-faced and sort of snotty.
You say, if you don't want them to see you, I'll allow you this. You can sit behind the counter and sell the product. You're older, you already know how the business goes. But I want you to promise me that certain part this night you will dance with at least 2 different men.
Okay. So, she agrees to your stipulations. I'm actually gonna make some notes here for myself.
Okay.
Because I don't want to roll stats for all of them. But what I am going to do is roll stats when it's relevant to something that might happen.
It's your call. You're the DM to put it like that.
3, 17.
As I said, I literally have no idea of the story. I've read it so long ago. I thought maybe as we play it I'll know something.
Okay, so as the day goes on, the second and third daughters, smile and greet people and maybe flirt with the customers, and you're actually surprised at exactly how well you're actually really surprised at exactly how well your oldest daughter is selling. She's selling everything for a little bit more than market price. She's negotiating really well. She's trying to figure out ways to incentivize your customers. Like, oh, you need this, but if you also get this, think about how well these things go together. And she's being very charming and
I'm basically just
into buying things they don't need.
I'm just puffing my my long pipe and smiling proudly. How are the other 2 going?
Let's see. Do this. The other 2 are doing great. They've had at least 2 marriage proposals each. Sort of in jest, in sort of like a flirty way. But there's okay, there's a handsome man who comes up and claims to be he's a soldier. So he's an up and coming soldier. He's
Okay.
recently been promoted to an officer.
An officer? That sounds interesting.
Coming back from war. So he, once he gets back in the world, he'll be in the very lowest ranks of the nobility.
I will sit him down if he wishes so, and kind of give him a drink.
Yeah, and he wants to he wants to ask for your second daughter's hand in marriage. He saw her, and something about her just stole his heart. And there's nothing he can imagine. He can't imagine living his life without her.
While still puffing my cigar, I try to look at him and say, Where do you live? Do you have any place to go home?"
And there is an answer to this. As a result of his valor in the recent war, he will actually is guaranteed a piece of land directly from the king to make his living on for the rest of his days.
Well, then you have my blessing. If she will want you, you can have her.
Okay. And she obviously wants him because he's much better than she could reasonably expect to have done. But those rolls, though.
Yep.
So you can negotiate a dowry. You actually have a since this is the most profitable time of the year for you, you actually have enough money to afford a reasonable dowry for her.
Okay. I'll try and, because he's so head over heels in love, I'll try and make it a bit like, business is not going that well. It's kind of like,
So roll me your charisma, and then roll me a persuasion check or a deception check, I guess.
Okay.
Doesn't really matter.
I would say as a merchant I have a proficiency to that.
Yeah, I would agree. That seems fair.
No. Well,
This guy's not that bright, so we're gonna give him a wisdom of -1. So you have to beat an 11.
I already rolled an 8. I think we're in different roll20s.
Oh, I'm in the
1 sec. I'm putting it in Zoom chat right now. Just when the sake.
I'm in the app. The dev version of Roll20.
Okay. So yeah,
I'll go to the other version.
I actually do fail. So
You didn't beat an 11?
No, I rolled an 8. I rolled a 5 plus 3. So what does he say?
He's like, really? You seem to be doing really well. He's looking around the stall and he's seeing all the money changing hands.
Okay,
Like,
maybe we can. I start mumbling on my breath unintelligible sentences, and I'll say, "Yeah, we'll talk about it. It's only the first night. We'll talk about it."
You try and get him drunk and like roll again.
Yes.
Chucky's playing so transparent.
Okay, so did I? Oh, I did. Yes. Sorry about that. Sorry. There's yeah. I just showed the Roll20 link for some reason.
Oops.
Doesn't matter. We have like 2 different campaigns. There's literally nothing on this page. Only us rolling. That's it. It's literally a black screen. Besides that.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. Anyway,
I don't think we're ever going to get to a point where we actually need to use the map aspect of Roll20 for this show.
I don't think
I could
so.
be wrong.
No,
but-
it's the whole idea is imagining the story. I mean,
Right.
maybe. I mean, the only time I actually used the map was to give you pictures of how the creatures looked when you did the Romanian fairy tale one.
So, you will eventually manage to marry that second daughter off, and she'll still have to come home with you because he
Of
has
course,
to go
yeah.
home and arrange everything so his housing is stable. But he'll
Yeah.
send for her.
I will make a contract, of course, about I'm gonna call it an engagement.
Mhm.
So if he does not, like, if he's going now to war, so my idea, I
No,
mean,
he's coming back from war.
oh, he's coming back. Okay,
Yeah,
good. So still a contract of engagement. Like, he pledges his word to take my daughter.
Yeah.
That's about
Absolutely. You can actually get that. You can get that witnessed and notarized. Well, not notarized because they didn't do that, but witnessed by a priest.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a major city. That's not that hard. I mean, I guess the priest would be a bit busy because it's a fair, and fair times people get drunk again and people get married as it's happening right now. So I think there are more people there, but eventually we'll get that done. I'll talk to my oldest daughter and say, well, we all had luck today. Your older sister had a couple of marriage proposals. Your middle sister already has a husband, and you, my dear one, I think. You know what? I'm not gonna make you dance with anybody. You are great at this business. You have my skill. If you want, I will train you in how to become a merchant.
Oh, Father, thank you. I've never sold anything before, but it's ever so much fun.
It is, and it is ever so much rewarding. And I'll spend basically the rest of the night kind of behind the stall letting her sell. I'm not interfering whatsoever, but after she sells something or does something, I'll basically just pitch in, like, you should have done this, you should have done that. He would have been more responsive if you just inhaled a bit deeper.
Give me your intelligence.
Okay.
Just see what we're working with here.
Still average. I would say again proficiency because it's the.
This is funny because you have no idea what she rolled. If I had been in the other Roll20, you'd know what I rolled. So you don't really feel like you had. After like a couple of hours, you feel like you don't have anything to teach her. She's already better at your job than you are.
I will try and make it seem like she's not, but it's in the idea that don't get your head too much puffed up. But besides that, I am pretty damn proud. What's going on with the youngest one?
So the youngest daughter, she's a little flighty. You know, she's been very obedient to you. She's actually not very imaginative. She's just sort of gone through life doing what you told her to do and being a good daughter. I'm gonna say she feels guilty because your wife died in childbirth, birthing her. So she's trying not to, do anything else. Her sisters maybe gave her a hard time about that when she was a kid. So she has these latent feelings of guilt.
Okay,
so she's doing exactly what you told her to do. You know, she's trying to direct people to the booth. She's.
I'll stop her for like after the fair has started for about an hour or so, and I'll say, "Go on. I can take care of it from here. Go dance. This is the first fair you've been to. Enjoy yourself." I put a couple of silver pennies in her hand and say, "Don't spend it all in one place."
She goes off, and she actually hears stop by a flower stall and starts looking and smelling at all the flowers. You see her kind of go. Like the fair, like the bulk of the body of the fair is to the left at the end of a street. She kind of goes to the right, and you think she might be going. Based on what you know about your daughter, you think she might be going out to look at the fields because it's early spring, so they have all this green stuff coming up, and she is very much a fan of nature.
I look back. How is my oldest daughter doing? Is it okay? Everything going all right at the store?
Oh yeah, stall's
Then
going
I'll
great. You're actually a little concerned that she's selling everything so well, you're gonna run out of things to sell before the end of the fair, and you might have to like leave early.
I'll take about half of the amount we've sold until now. Go over to, I'm guessing, some part of the city, where I can find people that are for hire, and hire a couple of guards.
Okay.
Just to make sure, yeah. So about 2 or 3 guards. Pay them with a day, and then I'll go off stalking towards where I saw my youngest daughter going.
Are you stalking your youngest daughter? That's weird.
Nah, yeah, maybe. It's my daughter.
It's my daughter. I can stalk her if I want to.
Yep.
Rationale of all fathers since at least the Middle Ages, guys.
Since at least the beginning of time.
History in progress right here. Alright, it takes you a little while to hire some guards, make them stand by the door, or make them stand by your stand. but you do, and eventually you catch up, and you see sort of a flash of blue out in the fields, and she's walking around, and you eventually see her walking around. She's maybe half a kilometer from the majority of the town now, like way out in this grassy area, and you're not quite sure what she's doing. She's maybe looking for something. She's found some old dandelions, and she's like blowing on them, watching the seeds spin away in the wind.
I'll just stand at the edge of town, in the shadow of an alley, and watch her.
So, eventually she stops, she looks around. She doesn't really seem like she's happy about what she's found, or what she's looking for. So she's, makes a big sigh, like, and there's a big tree, though, like a big oak tree. It's sort of not really tall, but it's very wide. Provides lots of shade. She kind of walks over to it and starts sleeping. She lays down, and it looks like she's starting to take a nap underneath the tree.
After about 5-10 minutes after I reason we can think that she's half asleep, I'll go over there, take off my cloak, and put it on her as a blanket.
Okay. She sort of mumbles in her sleep, and and wraps her arm, or wraps her hand around the thing, and like tucks herself in.
And I'll kind of just stand around there, look into her hand, see what she's found.
She didn't find anything.
Curious.
She's putting her hand on your coat, like on your cloak.
Yeah, I was like, she was looking for something. I thought she had something on her.
Oh no, she was just grabbing the cloak and like tucking herself in with it.
Well, I'll let her sleep for a couple hours, maybe somewhere close to where the fair ends.
Okay.
Is this fair like only one day or multiple days?
Oh no, I think historically it lasted about a week.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, a week is enough. So I'll just let her sleep.
Okay.
And kind of watch over her.
Excellent.
Excellent. My plans are in motion. And that's about it. When it gets close to, like, after a bit after the sun sets, I will wake her up. Or actually, I will just raise her up in my arms and go back to the stall.
So she sleeps through you picking her up.
I get there, I tell the guards that if they set up a watch here, I'll pay them the night as a day.
One of the guards is okay with that. Two of the guards have been like they say they've been up all day, but they have friends. One of them has a brother who's been sleeping. He could switch off with.
I know that sounds okay.
Right.
Yes.
So they walk off to get them. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, I'll just wait around there. I'll look at my eldest daughter. How have things fared as I was gone?
So this is probably literally the best day your business has ever had. You've already sold like 3/4 of your total stock, and you've sold it for an average of 15% more than you expected to. And your oldest daughter's also talking about some great trade that she did with someone, where it's like the trade sequence in a video game quest, where you start out with a cheap item and you trade it to someone who really wants it, but for a slightly more expensive item. And she's just been like doing that all day, and she wound up with a gorgeous pearl necklace that she started out with like.
So that's the story of basically the backwards story, the German story of the little boy with the golden nugget.
Yeah,
if you know it.
she started out with like some fresh goose eggs and ended up with a pearl necklace worth hundreds of gold.
I look up at her and I say, "Well, daughter of mine, you are your father's daughter. I am proud of you. You have done me a great honor. We'll talk more tomorrow. It's late now. Get your other sister and we'll go get some rooms at the inn."
As she walks off, you actually see her giving the necklace to the second oldest sister, and you know, maybe you think, oh, it's an engagement present.
Okay, makes sense.
So that's why she went through all that effort, and the second daughter's face lights up. It's like the exact thing she wanted. She's so happy.
Well, I'm guessing again, in and fair and so, but even within an and fair, usually my idea is that if they see a merchant with sacks full of money and gold, and a daughter with a pearl necklace at her neck, I can easily get a room by just paying a bit extra in one of the inns. You know what? Even I will not even.
It's really busy, but we'll assume that you've been coming to this fair for years. You have a relationship with one of the inns, and he always like saves a room for you.
Oh, makes sense.
Although it's only the one room because this is the first time you've ever brought your daughter, so he didn't expect you to need more than one.
Well, I'll say that. I mean, if does he have any other room available?
No. This is the biggest fair in like this part of the country, and it only happens once a year. Everyone is here. The town is overflowing.
Give me just a feather mattress. And the room, that should be okay.
All right. He does his best. It's not a feather mattress. You end up with like some hay stuffed into a sack.
You know what? That's okay. I will just let the girls sleep on the bed, and I'll sleep on the mattress.
All right.
And before we go to sleep, I'll teach my eldest daughter how to make inventory, count the coins, and so on. Even if she's very talented at this, knowledge that she didn't have is still a thing she needs to learn.
Okay.
Okay, so that
she does pick it up very quickly. Like you never have to explain anything more than once, and once you start explaining things, she like jump ahead and ask questions like, "Oh, it works this way," and you're like, "Oh, yeah, that's exactly right."
Exactly. That's great. I have never been more proud as a dad.
That's because you were always evaluating your children by their looks, and this is the ugliest one.
I am very proud. She made me money. I'll count out the coin she made tonight.
It's like I said, it was 3/4 of your stock was sold.
Mm-hmm.
It's for 15% more than you expected it to be. I could actually let me think. No, I'm not gonna do it. It's a lot though. Because this is your biggest thing every year. So you buy like maybe 1,500 gold worth of spices, and you sell it here for a markup. You usually go home with like maybe double, and you're gonna go home with 3,500, 3,600. So you made an additional 500 or 600 gold this season than over what you normally make. It's fairly substantial.
Okay. Well, that's great, actually. That's awesome. What can I say? I think that's about it. I don't have any other ideas. I'll just sleep the night, and we'll wake up in the morning.
Unless you try and go to sleep, there's a lot of female giggling, and the middle daughter saying, "Isn't she so handsome?" And so on, and so on.
Well, when we wake up, normally I'll buy breakfast for everybody. I will be quite friendly with everybody at the bar. I'm guessing that this is not like like a bad, ill-reputed bar. This is one of
Oh no,
the nicer.
this is one of the most respectable inns in all of Leipzig.
Yeah, so I'll be very friendly with the people, and then especially with my youngest daughter. So I'll kind of introduce her around.
Okay. Um, all of your fellow merchants are very confused that you would bring your daughters on the road.
And
Uh,
after that, I will just tell them what my eldest daughter did yesterday. Or basically just
uh,
like tell the story of the but so you know how a story of you being attacked by a badger and you killing it and like yes, victory turns into, after a couple of tellings, turns into killing a bear. You know, like every time you tell a story it goes bigger. That's kind of what's happening here. So I'm gonna say she just started out with a iron chain and she ended up with that pearl necklace.
okay. So you actually at like some of the merchants don't believe your story, but then they look at the necklace, and then later in the day you get a few marriage proposals trying to sort of steal the golden goose, shall we say?
This will be my, unless it's actually something that she wants, I'll say no. Like every time I'll just like yeah, well, consider it. I'll consider it, and I'm going to talk to her.
Okay. Um, she thinks that marriage, if it was to the right person, maybe they could branch into a different industry, or maybe they could take two synergistic industries and put it together. And she says she'll run the numbers
I
and,
smile
and
and say,
and get back to you.
I only wanted to marry you off, all of you, because it's a better life for you. It's hard to meet care for free women, and it's hard for me to fulfill all of your needs. Most of the time I spend on traveling. You spend it most of the time alone. I don't want you to grow alone and old in my house. I will never make you marry somebody you don't want to, but I always encourage you to.
All right. So you actually end up selling your remaining stock today. You're all sold out. There's other than trying to potentially marry off your daughters, there's no reason for you to stay at the fair. Your oldest daughter does ask to stay at the fair for a couple more days, and she starts doing interviews of other merchants, probably their sons actually, and she starts trying to get familiar with other markets. And you see her like walking around all the time, and she's talking to booksellers and dress sellers and textile sellers, and trying to figure out how the economy works. And
Mm-hmm. I'll basically just give her a lot of like whatever funds she needs. I actually give her a pretty big, like basically I'll give her like 50 gold.
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's like for what she's done. I'll say that this is a very small cut of what you've done, but spend it wisely. Get whatever you need and want. If you need more, come and talk.
So on the last day, she actually brings back a not a great looking guy. He's actually sort of short and maybe a little pudgy. But it turns out that he is a engineer with a fascinating new engine for raising water in flooded mines, which would allow deeper mines to exist. Which is very important for the current war effort for digging up.
More stone?
Well, no, I was thinking of gunpowder, but like so for gunpowder, they have to. Generally, the surface deposits of sulfur run out really fast, and you have to dig for more. The charcoal is actually made from burning down trees, and then it's kind of funny. And then the saltpeter comes from fertilizer.
Interesting. Well, I'll leave him with my other two daughters and talk to the eldest one alone. And so, do you like this man?
Oh yes, father. Very much. He's very intelligent. I think we'll make a perfect match.
I'll say, just take care. Your other daughters know a bit about this. Don't rush. Imagine this as a long-term business. So I'll basically try and kind of correlate business, like a business, with a relationship, so she can understand easier.
Oh, don't worry, Father. We have the engagement set for 1 year, and there's conditions he has to meet before the wedding can happen.
My daughter. My daughter. I not her. I'll leave it all to you. And I'll go back to the table, kind of give my blessing, and start kind of. I wanted to say pimping out, but that sounds weird. Kind of introducing my youngest daughter again, like for the rest of the days. I'll actually stay for the whole fair.
Okay. There's some interest in your youngest daughter. She's very. I mean, she's the prettiest of the lot. But she's kind of flighty. She tries her best to do what you tell her to do.
I'll actually be very vague in what I tell her to do.
Oh, that doesn't help at all.
So I'm gonna try and be vague in the idea of do what you feel like. Even if she goes to sleep in the fields, that's completely okay. I'll hire 2 guards.
She does that a lot.
I'll hire 2 guards to stand around, kind of not be obvious, but kind of around my other 2 daughters. It is a fair, and they're both engaged right now to make sure nothing goes wrong.
Okay.
And go on.
No worries.
And besides that, I'll just as I said, I won't make her marry somebody, but I will try and like nudge her in that direction if I can.
Let's see I should roll it. No, not really. Her flightiness is overwhelming everything else.
Well, she is still young.
Guys who express an interest and she doesn't even notice.
She is still young. It's okay.
She's very focused on whatever it is that, in her mind, is important about what she's doing in those fields.
You know what? One of the nights, I'll actually not wait until she sleeps and kind of go slump my back to the oak, kind of hug her with a cloak, and ask her what she's doing here.
And she says, "Well, there are no roses where we grow, Father, and you bring me one every year. I was hoping to find a rose, but there's none for sale in the market, and I haven't managed to find any in the fields."
This is what you wanted, daughter? Don't worry your head. I have somebody that brings me a rose at the last day of the fair every year. She's a old lady that dabbles into poultices and such. Somewhere at the edge of town. You should visit her then. She has her own garden. If you want, I can take you there tomorrow.
Oh, Father, would you?
Yes, of course. But I want you to enjoy yourself. To go into the fair. Just enjoy yourself. The music, even if you don't want to meet anybody, the music, the food, the dancing. Experience it once, until you say no to it.
As you wish, Father.
No, it's enjoy yourself. I want in your life, you need to be your own woman. I won't be here all your life, and you don't have to please me. You'll have to please a lot of people in your life. That's how life goes. But here, right now, you do not have to please me. I am proud and happy of all 3 of you. I just want you to be happy.
Oh, thank you, Father. But I am happy. I love my sisters and I love you.
Yes, but I'll go away someday, and I won't come back. And so will your sisters. They'll marry. They'll have children and families.
Yes, Father.
And I'll just kind of comfort her. I won't push the whole fair thing unless she actually expresses interest, but I will take her to the Rose Garden.
Okay, so you take her to this old woman's hut, and it's actually burned down.
I am very surprised at this. I will inquire as to what happened.
Apparently, they think what happened is the old woman might have, like, she was living alone, so she might have stumbled, or maybe she just fell asleep, and she had a fire that got away from her in the middle of winter, and thankfully, like, it didn't spread because of the snow, but the garden is, she didn't replant it, she wasn't there to tend it, so the garden is lying fallow, there's nothing growing, and the house is completely gone. It's just a pile of ash.
See, sorry about this. I did not know this happened. I should have visited her earlier. We'll try and scour the market for a rose.
Yes, Father.
And do you want to do something else?
No, Father.
I look into like in her eyes.
You look deep into your daughter's eyes.
Yeah. No reaction.
She just wanted a rose. And now this old woman who always grew these beautiful roses for her is dead, and she's a little unhappy.
Okay. Well, we'll try and get a rose.
And she's a little freaked out that this woman died all alone. Now she's thinking about what you said about getting married.
Perfect. Perfect. My plans are going good. I will try and find a rose in the city.
You have no success. Well, actually, give me a 1d20.
Okay.
The odds are pretty unlikely. But...
Come on, D20.
Yeah, you have no success.
No
whatsoever.
success. You know, I promise you, on our way back home, or this year, I will bring you a rose. There's no one here. There's none here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, you enjoy yourself. There's still a couple of days to the fair. I have a couple of friends I don't talk to. Just have fun.
So the last day of the fair, your oldest daughter and your second oldest daughter come to you, and your oldest daughter has actually made arrangements to stay in Leipzig to manage some of the new industries that she's working on. She's found lodging with a sort of retired matron, so she'll have chaperonage. And the second oldest daughter is requested to stay with her because it's a shorter trip from here to where her husband will live when he gets settled in 3 or 4 months.
I'll ask my oldest daughter if she's interested in living here with her husband.
This might be where we settle. Great nexus of trade are always useful, but I think the smart money is going to be living in Amsterdam. So I think after his engine is a success, we'll end up moving up to there. They have this new thing called the stock market.
Interesting. Well, my heart is heavy, but I cannot deny you this happiness. Stay here with my blessings. I'll come back myself in a couple of weeks' time to bring over anything you might have left at the house.
Oh, thank you, Father. Thank you so much.
I look at my youngest daughter, and I say, well, do you want me to find you accommodations here as well?
Oh, no, Father. I'd much rather go home with you.
So be it. And we go home, I guess.
Okay. Let's see.
I will actually. Oh, 1 second. I will actually hire I'd say about 2 or 3 guards because I do have a extensive amount of gold on me.
Well, you don't actually have to take the gold with you. You could leave it at a counting house and get a letter of credit.
Ah, okay. That sounds good as well.
Banking is actually quite sophisticated in the 16th century. You'd be surprised.
I will. Okay, I will get a letter of credit. I'll still have 2 guards with me. I mean, I'm guessing I always have guards, or at least I join a caravan. Maybe there's a caravan. Actually, see if there's a caravan going. Because at the end of the fair, there must be merchants from the same city as me.
Not quite from the same city, but there is a caravan
In
that's
that
going,
direction.
most of the way. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'll just get one guard then, because you usually just get one guard. Every caravan gets one guard, and you have a decent number.
Right.
And we'll just get home.
Okay. So after you've separated from the caravan and you're relatively close to your house, like maybe 2 or 3 days further travel, a huge storm suddenly blows up,
Mm-hmm.
and you know instantly you're soaked through. You can't see the horse. You can see like the back half of the horse that's pulling your cart, but you can't see the front half of the horse.
I will.
That's how hard this rain is coming down.
I'll try and take the whole carriage to the side of the road, like off road, as easily as I can. I'll take my time with it.
Okay.
And-
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Oh, let me roll my. Do you want me to roll my wisdom?
Yeah.
Still
pretty
1d20
good.
plus 1. Okay, I don't think I see anything important.
It's very strange. As you know, there's nothing around here. You've traveled this path in daylight dozens of times, going back and forth. But you do see a light deep into the woods.
I'll I'll set a carriage. I will make sure my daughter is inside, covered from the rain, and I'll send the guard that will protect the light.
Guard sort of grumbles, is like, you don't pay me enough for the rain.
And I'll get inside and try and get a bit dry, however dry I can.
Okay. So the guard goes off. And he doesn't come back.
Do I have any weapon?
Yeah, you have a sword.
Okay. I'll say to my daughter, listen to this. I'll take out the letter of credit. If I don't come back in half a clock, you just take easily the horses. I've shown you many times how to use the carriage. And try and get on home. Don't wait for me. With this home, you can go to the bank, get the money off it, and send help my way. We're close to home, so be careful. I don't know what happened to the guard, but if I don't go on looking, I cannot live with it on my conscience.
Oh yeah, I understand, Father. Just be careful.
I smile at her, scuffle her hair a bit, and just get out.
Okay. You still see that light glowing very faintly, deep in the woods.
Yeah, I could go thinking. So I've got rid of 2 of them. One was quite profitable. Like thinking more of my daughters right now. This would be hard. As I'm thinking at the youngest
The
one.
picture of a proud father.
Yeah. This would be
Jack's
a
gonna be
hard
one
one.
of those parents. His kids turn 18, and he's like, "Okay, bye," and he like boots them out of the house.
It's like, oh, sweet talk and very nice to anybody that meets me, like any of their friends that actually meet me. You have such amazing parents. They're so awesome. I wish mine were the same as you. But like in close confines, you say you're gonna have fun, and that's an order. So that's kind of what's going on right now. I will. You know what? Yeah, I will go on. So I'll try and inspect and see what this light is. I'll keep it stealthy. So like tree, stay in the shadows.
So as you get closer, you actually see that the light is a castle, and the castle is literally glowing with this like faint aura. it looked like a small light from far away, like one tiny light, maybe from far away. But as you get closer, you realize it's actually a huge light that's just very dim.
What kind of sorcery is this? Well, it could help us, and we could stay here to... What is this girl? Maybe new invention of some sort? Looks like a freaking White House.
Do you get closer to the castle?
No, I'm still kinda at the edge.
Okay.
I'm contemplating if I should go back and get my daughter and try and sleep here for the night. Is there an actual road or dirt road leading here?
As you, yeah, you like it's sort of so it was through a. You thought it was like you thought the woods to your right were actually like huge and expansive, but as you come through, you actually only go through maybe a quarter of a kilometer of a thick band of trees, and you come out into a clearing, and the castle has like a dirt trail.
So there's no way of getting the caravan here.
You could maybe backtrack the trail that's going up to directly up to the castle door, because you came in like to the side, but it kind of looks like it's going in a different direction. So it would be. I'll just get
my daughter. She must be worried until now. I'll bundle her in cloaks, bundle myself in cloaks. There's nothing left. I'll leave nothing of importance or value in the caravan. Leave the horse with enough food in its eat thingy. Well, actually no, not eating. I'll just like tie it to a tree more inner in the forest.
Okay.
Okay. And actually no. Why am I so stupid? No, I'm not tired. I'll just ride it. Why would I ever do that? I'll just ride the horse, my daughter behind me, and ride the horse to the castle.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll.
So your daughter marches alongside the horse in
the back
in the way.
No, in the back. We're riding double.
Okay. Okay. She because she's wearing a dress, she has to ride side saddle. So because it's so wet, she keeps kind of like sliding off. She can't seem to catch her balance.
Well, it's not a very big road until I'll keep it at a walk.
It's really coming down though. Like it's hard for her to sit on the horse because it's not. She doesn't actually have a spot on the saddle, so she's sitting directly on the horse, and the horse is wet, and her dress is wet. You can give me a dexterity check.
Okay, let's see how this goes. By the way, how old is she?
Realistically, she's not married off. She's probably like 15.
Okay, that sounds about right. Well, pretty good at a dex check.
Okay, so eventually you manage to like get your hand in the right position where you're holding her on the horse, and you have the one hand on the reins. You're doing okay. The horse seems really unhappy. He's carrying all this weight, and he's wet and miserable.
Again, it's not that long of a drive. It can survive it. Well,
it's not a question of if it can survive it. It's just not happy.
Okay. I don't really mind. It's a horse. I don't have much sentiments for a horse.
Does this guy have sentiment for anything?
Not. He actually felt genuinely proud when her daughter did what she did, like the eldest one. She actually felt very happy for. Put it like this: he's happy when other people are happy, but that does not impede his happiness. So like, I'm okay with everything. I'm very happy for you that you're happy, but if your happiness stands in the way of my happiness, I'll just cut your head off. That's about it.
Capitalism 101. Okay.
And by the way, for those in chat wondering, we have not disclosed what this fable is yet, so we'll see at the end. Gone.
So you managed to get to the castle. Do you actually go look at it this time, or do you still stay?
No, I'm going towards the castle. To castle.
All right. So as you get up to the castle, you see that the door is open. Like the portcullis is up, the gates are open. You could just walk in.
I will be a bit weary of just walking in. I'll try and look around to see any servant, anybody whatsoever around.
Well, there's definitely no one outside the castle, and from what you can see, looking through the open door, there's no one there.
I will, as I walk in, I gotta like, tap my hand pretty loudly as you can in a drowning rain. So if anybody is around, they would hear me.
No response.
Okay, and I'll walk inside with a horse. Try and find some cover.
You bring the horse into the castle?
What? Well, no. Wait, my image of this castle is more like a fortress. It has a wall around. I get in, and there's a castle inside. Is this a walled castle, or is just a
No, it's just a
castle?
It's just
Okay.
like a random glowing castle in the middle of a clearing.
Not weird at all.
It's not what you would think of as a proper castle because it doesn't have a moat.
Stable? Does it have any
Doesn't
stable
have
around?
No, actually, it's strangely just a castle. Maybe there's like around the back, maybe somewhere.
I'll bring the horse inside. At least at the beginning. I mean, I don't want to kill it out inside in the rain. Okay, so we walk inside. Leading the horse in. My daughter behind me. My other hand on my sword, and I kind of announce quite loudly that I'm entering. Like, is there anybody here? I'm a merchant on the road seeking refuge from the rain and the storm.
Still no response. To your right, there's a large room, and again the door is open with a crackling fire. You can sort of feel the heat coming out of the room, and it feels really good.
I open the door wide.
There's a large staircase directly in front of you that sort of goes up into the darkness.
Oh, as I said, I'll open the door wide.
The door to the...
The door to
right.
the crackling fire, yes, to the right.
Yeah. It seems to be a dining room. There's a long table laid out with a feast. An amazing amount of food, actually. More food than you've ever seen at one table before.
I say, Darwin.
And there's not one but two fireplaces at each end of the room.
I stay at one of the fireplaces. Don't touch the table yet. I'll go and see if I can find... Maybe there's some kind of feast of party and the servants are just getting rid of the table. The old lady might be upstairs. Stay at one of the fires. Don't do anything but that. I'll go up and come right back down.
Yes, Father. She sits herself down on like one of the there's a reclining couch or a fainting couch near the near one of the fires, and she sort of tries to get close to the fire, bundles her bundling, and she actually starts steaming as the water starts evaporating from her clothes.
Well, I will go up, like kind of try however much I can to dry myself up for maybe like 10 minutes, something like that.
Okay.
And then, because I can't just go up the stairs soaking wet in somebody's bedroom. And then I'll go up the stairs, kind of like tapping on the stairway, trying to get any kind of reaction from anybody alive in this castle.
Okay. You go up the stairs. It's surprisingly extensive. It didn't look this big from the outside. There's multiple rooms going, multiple doors going down a hallway in each direction.
Mm-hmm.
You still don't see anyone.
I will kind of like talk down the hallway. Is there anybody here? Again, I'm just a merchant, so on. Like, kind of the same text. I'm saying the same thing, trying to get a reaction.
There's like a faint echo, but no response.
Okay, sorry, go on again. People.
There's like a faint echo, but no response.
I just go downstairs. I'll say to my daughter, nobody seems to be here. Then I quite understand it myself.
Isn't that rather strange? I don't remember a castle being so close to home.
Me neither. And you know what? It's the only place where you can rest for tonight. Are you hungry?
Oh yes, Father, I'm starving.
You know, I think whoever has this castle is quite rich. I do not know what type of person. I've met a lot of lords and ladies. Some are not as gracious as others. I will eat whatever I have left in the saddlebags. Dry yourself up and we'll go into another room. Might be too tempting. I do not want to give them any reason for trespassing or stealing. Trust me, some lords and ladies are pretty orgullious.
Yes, father. Whatever you say.
Again, like, we'll have a modest dinner of whatever we have left that we had on the road, and again, I'll like bring her up and try a couple of the rooms, see if like there's anybody inside anywhere.
You can't find anyone. All of the rooms are beautifully appointed. It looks like they're all like ready to receive guests. The beds are turned back. They all look very warm and inviting.
I'll say, okay, you deserve some rest. You know, we do this. You rest for about 4 hours. I'll wake you up after that. And then I'll sleep for about 4 hours. One of us should be awake if maybe somebody comes home, so we're not just caught sleeping in a bed.
Yes, father.
Good. Go to sleep, my darling. I'll wake you soon.
Yes, father.
Where's the guard?
You haven't seen him.
Literally just comes to my mind.
You haven't seen him.
This is weird. I'll actually have loosened my sword in my scabbard, and I'll wait for her to wake up. I'll wait about 4 hours, let her sleep, and wake her up after that.
She wakes up yawning. She's very out of it. She's still super tired. She's like, okay, my turn, father.
Dang, I just trust this place. I don't think we should stay here any more longer.
Well, but father, you have to sleep, and it's still raining.
You're right. Don't fall asleep, okay? Promise me.
Okay, I promise.
I'll wait for about 5 minutes so you can wake up. I'll get some cool water or something, and I splash your face.
Okay. She manages. She seems like after the splashing the water on the face, she seems pretty awake.
Okay, and I'll just get some sleep. I'll tell her to be all eyes and ears. And if she feels even the slightest nudge, like if she feels like she's dozing off, wake me as soon as that happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, father. Whatever you say.
I'll go to sleep then.
So you go to sleep. You're shaken awake several hours later.
Mm-hmm.
You see golden
yes.
sunlight coming in through the windows of the bedroom that you picked. And your daughter shaking you awake. Like, father, the rain stopped.
Oh, good. Thanks for waking me. Anyway, we should be going. I'll try and find some ink and parchment and leave a note.
Okay.
Besides that, after that we can go. Don't wander around too much, but on the ground floor, maybe see if you can find what's the name of that guard that was with us? Jack, was it?
Yes, it was
Yes.
Jack, father.
Okay, see if you can find any trace of Jack.
Okay. So she heads downstairs.
I'll find some ink and parchment, leave a message of like my name. We found your castle. It was pouring down rain, a storm, and so on.
Okay. So after a couple minutes go by, you hear a female shriek from what seems like outside.
Wait 1 second. Take down the Dark and Stormy the music. I will take out
Oh, so dark
my...
and stormy music.
Yeah, there's
People
actually
who
dark...
watch the stream are so much luckier than I am. They get background music. I just have to do it all in my head. I get no theme.
No theme. So what happens is that I will take out my sword and just run outside.
Okay. As you ran outside, you noticed something you didn't see last night. There's actually a small rose garden off to the side of the castle, and you see your daughter trembling, holding a rose, and there's a giant thing standing over her. It looks, maybe it's like a bear, but it's wearing clothes, and the head is bigger than a bear's. And you see your guard, or at least what's left of your guard, sort of ripped to shreds and shoved off to one side of the rose garden.
I will run towards my daughter, like take her out of his way and put myself between them, and say, "Leave my daughter alone, beast."
And he turns to face you and says, "Beast! I'm the beast. I offer you shelter and warmth and food in a storm, and you repay me by trying to steal my flowers. Who's the beast?"
My daughter, she's just a young one. She just wanted one rose. I'll pay for your rose if need be, but you don't... What in the name of all heavens have you done to Jack?
He was a thief. He tried to steal my flowers, just like this one.
My eyes glaring, and I push her back. Push her even more back. Give me the rose. Give me the rose.
She hands you the rose. She's trembling in fear.
I'll say, here. We meant no harm. We didn't eat any of your food, and we just used the bare necessary in your room.
Fool. It's dead. You think you can just give me back my own property and think that after you've killed it and destroyed it and think that clears things between us?
Well, no, it is not. As I said, I can offer compensation of whatever you deem necessary, but it is partly your fault. You should have a wall, maybe a sign saying "Do not pick the flowers." It's a flower garden. Flowers are meant to be picked. If you don't have a sign, nobody knows that they're not meant to be picked.
He looks down at you, sort of growling, but less loudly.
I can like take my sword away easily. I'm not cheated, but I point it towards the ground, so I besides me.
Give me a you rolled your charisma earlier. Give me a persuasion check.
Would you say I have an advantage in that?
I wouldn't say you have advantage, but you have proficiency, so you're gonna do okay, right?
Yeah, 18. Without that advantage, I would have been fucked. So fucked.
Alright. So the beast looks at you and says, "So you will compensate me for my rose, will you?"
Nod my head.
Do you know the value of those roses?
I shake my head.
Those roses are magical. They allow this castle to exist. They allow this castle to move anywhere I will it. Do you know the value of magic, little man?
I've never encountered magic. I wouldn't know its price or value.
The value of magic is life.
My sword goes
Very
up
well.
a bit.
You didn't pick the flowers. Your daughter did. So how about your daughter stays here in the castle for the rest of her life? And we will call it even.
I look at her, and I look at him. Do you expect me to leave my daughter here with you?
Why not?
Why should I, is the better question.
Well, because you said you would compensate me.
I would, but
And
not with a human wife.
That's an adequate compensation. Or I could kill you.
I look at Jack.
Jack looks in really bad shape.
Daughter?
See, your daughter stands up and says, "No, father, don't. It's my fault. I picked the flowers. I don't want you to die for my sake."
I look at the beast and I'll say this. Every year, if you can move it to your will, when the fair is here, your castle should be here. I want to see her. Now, not take her away. If she wants to stay, I'll not make her stay. But if she wants to, she will. If you're not okay with that, you will have to kill me.
What? That seems fair. I wouldn't want to deprive you of your daughter forever. I think a visit now and then is acceptable.
I smile and I say, well, dowry, anything do we need to talk of such? Or,
Nonsense. I have a magic castle. What would I do with petty human wishes?
are you not human? I just expected that you had a very long beard and haven't shaven in some while. Well, technicalities.
You touched upon a sore spot. Moving along.
Moving along. Well, we are in agreement. I look at my daughter. You have the final say.
Of course I'll stay, father. Of course.
You want tonight to sleep on it.
No, I don't want anything to happen to you. The roses are so beautiful.
Promise you I'll find you another patch of roses and I'll bring you one each year I come here.
Yes, father.
Nod my head. And one more thing. She is not your slave. Treat her as a guest.
Of course. Everyone who comes to my castle is treated as a guest. Didn't you discover that last night when I laid out a bountiful banquet for you? And allowed you to sleep in my bed?
It's, again, when you have something you want to offer, not offer, you should make it clear. Signs. It's just a wooden panel with a you can write something. We didn't know we were invited here. We just stumbled upon it. She didn't know doesn't matter. Everything is settled. Daughter, can you set up some signs so other people don't get in the same problem here?
Yes, father. I'll see what I can do.
Okay. Well, I guess then I'll take my leave. I will just require a couple of hours with my daughter. Sure you understand.
Of course. Take your time.
Well, I will take her in the room where we were. Actually, no, you know what? I'm not even going to castle, like to the side of the castle, somewhere where we can be seen.
Okay.
And I will sheath the sword, put it in my cloak, give my cloak to her, and say, you have this. Then I left you the credit slip, the credit paper. If ever he mistreats you, beats you or whatever, run. Protect yourself with this, and when you get to the first city, use that. You should have enough to get back to me.
Yes, Father, but... Okay.
Now, be careful. I don't know what sort of manner of creature this is, but... it seems like we've got to go.
Yes, Father.
And... well, I guess I just spent a couple of hours talking to her. And that's about it.
Okay.
And I leave.
As you go into the forest, she's waving at you, and you see once, as soon as you go around a tree and you see her walking back into the castle, and then just as you're looking back, you look away for a second and you look back and the castle's gone.
Yes, all free.
Wow.
Well,
so you end up making it home okay. Nothing else untoward happens.
I'll take out half of the money I made from the fair. I mean, I don't have the credit slip anymore, but I'm guessing that when I make my journey after a week back to the fair, I can just present myself face to face and take just half of it.
It's fine. I mean, you have a good reputation. You're gonna need some stock capital to buy your wares for the following year.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I'll actually set up a partnership with my eldest daughter.
Okay.
And you know what? I'll say I'll tell them. Yeah, I'll tell them what happened.
You're gonna tell them what happened?
Yeah. Right, actually, not my middle daughter. I'll tell my oldest daughter what happened.
About a magic castle?
Yeah.
So your oldest daughter writes back and asks...
No, writes back. It's gonna be like when I go there after a week.
Oh, so you're gonna go back to Leipzig?
Yeah, I already told them that I'll bring them the things they left home.
Okay.
So
and
I'll go back there.
You talk to your... Father, what really happened? What really happened to her? You're telling me the story about a magic castle, but just such things don't really exist.
I take out the rose. Because I still had it. And I show it to her.
The rose is just as beautiful as it was when you plucked it. It has a faint sheen to it.
I've plucked this weeks ago.
Father, are you sure you're entirely well?
I'll give it to her. If in a couple of weeks this fades away, okay, maybe I was drugged or whatever happened. But if it doesn't, you know the truth of my story. There's nothing. I'm telling you for only one reason. This castle seems to be moving wherever he wants it to be. You'll be traveling. If ever you hear of anomalies, or you just see a road path or a dirt path where you did not expect a dirt path to be, or see something of this sheen, and I point to the rose, follow it. Maybe your sister needs help. If not, it's just beautiful.
Yes, Father. She looks at you, kind of suspiciously, wondering what you've done with her youngest sister.
I'll just spend the rest of the day making sure they're all alright, weave them all their belongings, and go back home.
Okay. Well, obviously, the flower does not wilt, so eventually she sends you a letter saying that she understands there's something very unique about this rose. And she believes you that something very odd must have happened to Beauty, and you've always been a good father. She's sorry she doubted you.
I just sent a letter back that is no harm done. I would like her to tell the same story to her sister and make up the same test, so show her the truth of the matter. And that's kind of about it. I think I'll just go and find Ready Marissa, that I've been spending a lot of nights at her house because I've had too many children, and just go down on one foot and ask her to move in with me.
Oh, okay. She's like, oh, finally, you've got rid of your daughters and we can be together.
I smile. Yes, I have. And you would not believe it.
And the merchant lived happily ever after.
One to go. I think, no, one done, two to go? How many are there?
How many are what?
How many other characters are there?
Well, I mean, we could switch to the daughter and find out what happens to her. But I think this is a good place to stop, actually. I like this take on it. It's all about the merchants.
It's actually a very good... Yeah, I was just thinking, well, 1 hour and a half in. I think this would be actually one of our first times where we can continue this campaign next session.
We could actually switch over to Beauty. Those of you who haven't figured it out, this is, in fact, Beauty and the Beast. Next session, we could switch over to Beauty and see what happens.
Okay, so I think that's about it. That's about it for Pinball Storytellers this week.
So for the record, I was keeping track. The fair, traveling to the fair, took up 40 minutes. It takes up less than a paragraph in the original story.
Less than a what?
Less than a paragraph.
Traveling
to the fair takes up, like, talking to the daughters about what they want, because the daughters don't go with him. He just promises to bring them back each a gift. And then going to the fair and being on the way home is like less than a paragraph. And then he finds the castle by the end of like the third paragraph of the story. So
Pinball Storytellers, everybody.
Yeah, so we turned one paragraph into 40 minutes by going really far off the rails. And then we turned like 3 paragraphs into another 40 minutes.
Yeah, but the story feels a lot more
technically we're just about halfway through the story.
The whole show is and this idea, the story feels real. I had no idea what story this is, and I have actually read that story a lot, like in my distant past. I had no idea what the story was about, and it felt like just a regular D&D story.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was it's not so much Beauty and the Beast, but I don't know.
Judy's father and Marissa.
The merchant of Leipzig.
The merchant of Leipzig. That's gonna be the name of the VOD, maybe.
The merchant of Leipzig and his nefarious plan to marry off his daughter so he could have a mistress.
Yep. I don't even care about the money, just the mistress. Anyway, let's do shoutouts. Yeah. So Justin, as always.
You guys can check me out on Twitch at Cavalier Guest and on Twitter. Actually, be really cool. Some more people followed me on Twitter. I do post whenever I go live on Twitter. I also post when I'm not going to miss a stream. But I do usually stream Monday through Friday from 1 to 5 PST. It's an hour later than when this show started. I play a lot of Hearthstone. I think I'm actually going to be finishing up To the Moon today. So if you've never played that game or you have played that game and you want to like, watch someone else play it, yeah.
By the way, I don't think we'll do Storytellers Talk to Twitch chat today.
Okay.
Because I feel like I want it at the end of a whole. I want the episode to end, and then we can do Storytellers Talk to Twitch chat.
Okay.
Because I feel like any questions directed would be spoilers in a way.
Maybe. I can see that.
So we'll
actually
we'll actually skip basically our Q&A for this week and have our Q&A next week after we finish the story. For my own stuff, as always, guys, thanks for watching. You're awesome. Down below there's the schedule, so you can see over there what's happening over the course of the whole week. The schedule is updated every Sunday, Saturday with what's happening the following week. The next days we have a game stream on Saturday, a Holy of Dragon Queen on Saturday with Justin as well. down below my face here. He's gonna be playing Brutus von Mises. And and Sunday we have Honorbound over on Kleber's channel. So that's about it for my own stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
And Ryan should be with us this week.
Oh yeah, Ryan should be with us this week. It would be very funny to see how he catches up with everything. Okay, bye everybody. See you later.